Yeah, I mean, you talk about the fruit of the Spirit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sitting next to two guys here who get, angry. Yeah. I mean, I've seen you both. It's fair to say a pressurized sport, a sport not only with pressure, but a sport where there's physical contact. A sport sometimes where your teammates don't always have the same level of professionalism or the same discipline as you. When you arrived at Ajax, you had a reputation, particularly Roscoe, for being a very disciplined player, hard-working player, but you also had a reputation of being Mr. Angry.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about that. What sorts of things you used to react to and how, and the journey you've been on.
I don't think
in
I
recent
can
years.
share how, but yeah.
Well, I'm not asking you to share the absolute detail of what you said and how you said it.
No, I think it's like Ian shared. As a professional athlete, you set your standards very high, and obviously playing soccer, it's a team sport, so there's many adversities and diversities in certain different individuals and things like that. So I used to try and control everything. That was the root of my anger issues. If my teammate's not doing something, I would want to, have a go at him. And so basically, I used to focus on controlling the uncontrollable. And that's where most of my anger stemmed from. So we lose a game, you made the mistake, that was me. I'll be on your neck, vulgar words, whatever, have a go at you. And yeah, I just tried to control the uncontrollables, and I think that was the stem of my anger. And obviously, surrendering my life to Jesus and having the Kola prayer book has obviously helped me shift my perspective and focus on, I think on page 42 in the call-up is the prayer for attitude and character, which speaks about Jesus and how he is our leader and our captain. So that's how I should act in team sport, and rather lead by action than trying to control all the uncontrollables and just focus on the effort and instead of the outcome. Yeah.
Right. And from what you've told me, but not only what you've told me, many other people have told me, there's always been a leader in there, but you've often not been trusted to be a leader because of the way you respond to other people. But is that changing, Ian?
Yeah, Roscoe's, for me, he's sort of driving the culture at the club at the moment, which I like to do in terms as a coach, you need custodians of the culture in the team. And to be honest, he's probably the only one who's really equipped to do it. And he's been challenged every day because the culture is not as good as we think it is. And he comes under fire every day. And I just try and encourage him to keep going, and because sometimes you don't have to say anything. It's what you do. And that for me is the best example. And I'm just happy to have someone like that in the team.
Yeah, I think also, like, if I can just add on to that, like what Coach Ian just said, sometimes you don't have to say anything, and that was my biggest challenge, like
keep it simple.
Keeping quiet and keeping it simple. Yeah, always overcomplicating things. Basically, just keeping quiet and leading by action, like you said. Obviously, in a team sport, it's more challenging because obviously there's more players. You have your teammates, and you have, obviously, it's not an individualistic sport. So there are challenges daily that you face, and yeah, I just wanted to add on to that point of what Ian said, that I used to be the guy I am still the guy with the loudest mouth, probably, but at the right times. Yeah.
So the inner work of the Spirit is enabling you to respond to things that frustrate you in a much healthier way and respond to others much healthily than you did in the past.
Yes, like full transformation of the heart. If I can just speak of a recent event, we lost last game 1-0 against Cape Town City, and we conceded a goal like in the 89th minute, which is from a set piece, which is just basically lack of concentration. And the same scenario 10 years ago or 5 years ago, the player was responsible for that area, would have probably, like I would have probably ruffled him up in the dressing room after the game or something, but
I wish you did.
but that's not the Jesus way. So went to the player after the game, spoke to him about it, and like literally after the game went to him and obviously spoke about it to him instead of advertising it. I like just engaged with him one-on-one and obviously spoke from the heart. And actually like later that evening, the same player messaged me to be like, you know, thank you for that, and then he took responsibility for it. So before, I would want the player to take responsibility for it, but the way I would go about it was wrong, because I was focused on the outcome of it all. So being more focused on my efforts on displaying the fruits to that player, I actually received the outcome that I would have wanted. So that's why I say again, like, we focus on the effort rather than the outcome. It could have gone